A Game of Thrones is book 1 in a 5, 6, 7, probably, split into 2, so 8 theoretically possible books. In a series called A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, the story follows the struggle of a ton of characters in a land that is loaded with a ton of ways to die. If the environment doesn't freeze or burn you to death, then the countless usurpers to the throne made of swords, awesome, will probably flay you and send your body parts to your family. That, or sickness, poison, ice zombies, dragons, assassins, or, worst of all, incestuous siblings, and or literally countless other horrific behaviors grace the 907 pages of this fantastorical tome. I really can't get into every plotline in the allotted minute. This one's looking a little more like 2.5-ish. But I can tell you that this story is incredibly engaging right off the bat and extremely well written. It's not a hard read. It's much easier and more modern than the Shakespearean drama or the historical accounts it's modeled after. The character list is enormous. So enormous, it's got its own appendix to keep it all straight. But Martin does an incredible job making you love the good ones and love to hate the bad ones, all while leaving you unsure as to which is really which. Every character in the book has deeply rooted motives. And in the words of the inhabitants of Westeros themselves, words are wind, so actions do all the talking in this book. One of the real escalators of tension is that many of the characters are hundreds or thousands of miles apart from one another, so they have no clue at all what really happens anywhere else. Rumors and lies from occasional messengers or notes from carrier ravens are the most up-to-date news they get. And yet, they make immediate and fatal decisions that will have repercussions for the entire realm. This leads to countless twists and turns in the narrative that are both mind-blowing and massively unsettling. I find these books absolutely impossible to predict, which makes me 100 times more addicted to them. I highly recommend committing yourself to reading the first 200 pages of this book. Just give it a page or so a day to start, and try not to be worried about remembering every name of every character. It's not possible, and it's also not the point. The novel is a bird's-eye view of a chess game of life and death, and the names of the individual pawns are the least of your worries. Some men just want to watch the world read.